All right, it is 6 p.m. We do have quorum. Going to go ahead and call this evening's meeting of the City of Florence Board of Zoning Appeals to order. First item on this evening's agenda is approval of the minutes from the October 23rd, 2025 meeting. Minutes have been submitted to members of the board in ample time to review. Are there any changes or amendments to those minutes? They're being done. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next item on this evening's agenda is BZA hearing number 2025-18. Request for a variance from the size restriction for accessory buildings. Location is 2609 Avent Street. Tax map number 01802-01-019. Owner of record is William R. Reynolds. Applicant is William R. Reynolds. Zoning district is NC 15. The board will now hear from city staff.
Good evening.
Haley.
This is a parcel on Avent Street, which is in Pine Forest, right across Pamplico Highway from MUSC, and it is in an area, completely residential area, and this portion of it is zoned NC 15, which does have larger parcels, and it backs up to NC 10, which has slightly smaller parcels. The request is to build an oversized accessory building in the rear yard, and the findings of fact are that a variance from the Unified Development Ordinance will not be contrary to the public interest. Without the variance, the applicant is limited to an accessory building that is less than half the size that he's proposed. That the spirit will be observed, public safety and welfare secured. The purpose of the size limit for accessory buildings in general is to prevent the construction of structures that are nearly the size of the house and dominate the rear yard in residential areas. However, this parcel is half an acre in area, so this building is not as out of scale as it would be on a smaller parcel. That there are extraordinary and exceptional conditions. While all the lots in this area are the same size and shape, their larger size makes them more suitable to larger buildings. And these conditions don't generally apply to other property. The lots are pretty uniformly sized on this part of Avent Street. And that because of these conditions, the application of the UDO to this particular property would effectively prohibit or restrict the utilization of the property. The applicant would still be able to have an accessory building in his backyard, but since they can only be 25% of the size of the house, he would be limited in that. And that the authorization of a variance would not be a substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character would not be harmed. Granting the variance does result in a larger than normal accessory structure behind the house, but it would be minimally visible from the street because of the location of the two-car garage attached to the house, and because it does have to meet the same setbacks as the house. So it would only be visible from adjacent properties. So this is a scaled site plan of where they want to put the building. It would be 10 feet off of either side, both the side and rear property lines, and so it would be directly behind that garage, so it would be invisible from the street. There's the picture of it from the view of the house from the street. So that concludes staff's report.
Thank you very much. Chair wants to remind board members, unmute your mics before you make any comments. Are there any questions for city staff from members of the board?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. This variance, or to be in compliant for 25% of the principal building being, what is this principal building being, 1,500 square feet?
I believe that's what it was.
So they're about 300, a little over 300 square feet will be permissible without even asking for a variance, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And this large size, and this is 24 foot by 42, that's 1,000 square feet, somewhere around there, of a building they're asking for. By granting this variance, would it not set a precedence for the neighborhood
Each one will be looked at individually, just like this one is. Anything that would want to be this big would have to come before this board as well. And they would have to show that, that it was appropriate for their parcel size.
Okay. And granting this one would set a precedence where they could rely on such?
It could, yes.
Okay. Is there any other buildings in the neighborhood right now that are comparable to this size?
Not that I'm aware of, but I haven't really looked.
Okay. Has any came across the board as variance-wise
We've done a couple over the years that were oversized.
in this neighborhood itself?
No, not in this neighborhood.
Okay.
Elaine, you said most of the properties in this area are comparable in size,
Yes.
so it wouldn't be.
If you look at the lot sizes here on the map, the one in question is outlined in red, and as you can see, the ones all along that side of the street, well, on both sides of this portion of Avent, are all the half-acre
Yeah, but
size parcels.
Has there been many neighbors reach out and
I haven't heard from anybody.
anybody? Okay. And as far as the height, width, what it's going to look like, is there going to be extreme, visibility from the road or nearby neighbors where we could see this down the road as a neighbor complaining about it?
Like I said, it won't. I don't see it being visible from the street, and they're going to paint it to be compatible with the house, I believe.
Okay.
So, which is one of the requirements.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I did come across that. That variance was actually asking to be omitted from being coordinated with the house, but they are going to paint it if,
I believe they're going to paint it to.
Okay, that'd be a
It
good
won't be the
question.
same materials, but it will be painted to match the house.
are there any public safety or drainage or utility concerns associated with a structure this size in that particular location
Not that I'm aware of.
that you're aware of? There's no utility lines going over there, or
I don't
gas
believe
lines,
so.
or anything else that would be?
It's not any taller than the house.
Thank you, Ellen.
And just to clarify for Ms. Moses, their lot is in NC 15, which is the half-acre lots, but literally right behind them are the smaller lots. So that neighborhood has different size lots. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah. All right. Are there any other questions for city staff? All right, thanks, Elaine. The board will now hear from the applicant. Mr. Reynolds? Yes, sir. If you don't mind stepping up to the microphone, sir, and stating your name clearly, unlike I do, into the microphone.
Sure. My name's William Reynolds.
All right, Mr. Reynolds, I'm going to swear you in. Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead, sir.
All right. Yeah. So I'm requesting, building this building in my yard. My father is a lifelong carpenter, and I'm inheriting, a lifetime of tools, and I need somewhere to put them.
Yes, sir.
So along with other stuff that I have, but that's why I need one this large.
Right.
Not trying to outdo anybody in the neighborhood, just
Right.
need somewhere to put his stuff.
I understand. Have you heard anything from neighbors, anybody?
The
Question?
neighbors that I talked to right around me are fine with it.
Okay.
One neighbor across the street, I said, you might get a letter about a building. He said, I did get a letter. He said, what business is of mine what you put on your property?
Okay.
So, yeah, no one has complained to me. Everybody's fine with it.
Okay.
I've got a great group right around me.
Yes,
We
sir.
all take care of each other.
I got you. Any questions from members of the board?
So you indicated it would be used for storage of tools?
Yes.
Are you putting it on you're putting it on a concrete slab?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's no going to be any kind of bathrooms or anything like that run into it.
Maybe eventually, not right away, but yes, no. But everything would be done to code if I pursue that route down the road. Yeah. It would just be minor stuff, nothing. Yeah. we're not having parties out there.
Would a smaller accessory building not meet your needs in this regard?
It would be very inconvenient to have a smaller building. Again, my father's 82. He's been buying tools and equipment for 60 plus years. So I've got a lot of tools I need to put in there, and I use some of them. Some of them I will be working with. I do, little knickknacks and projects around the house, so forth.
And you wouldn't have a problem with the next neighbor doing the same thing? And
Oh, no, not at all. No. Not a bit. Everybody can build one. It's fine with me. No, I wouldn't have a problem.
well, Lane wasn't too sure, but if you're putting a concrete foundation as far as utility lines or anything else like that, is there anything?
Right, no problems at all. No, there's no utility lines in the backyard, at all.
Have you had a mark from calling the 411?
I have in the past when I was having work done, when I had a gas line ran to the house and so forth, but there's nothing in the back. Well, my house backs up, so it's actually an old mill subdivision that backs up to Parkwood, where I'm at. But there was nothing behind me, and then the houses, this backyards, bumping backyards. So there's no right of way, there's no utilities running between our properties.
Is your home on a septic tank?
No, sir, it's on city
sewer.
sewer.
Very well. So you don't have to worry about field lines or?
Nope,
pretty
no
much
field
everything's
lines,
clear
no,
as far as you know.
there's no electrical lines running back there, no, no,
And
nothing.
you'll be doing the proper setback from,
Absolutely, yes. I think you go 10 and 10.
10 and
Yeah,
10,
10
yes, sir.
feet from the side, 10 feet from the back.
All right, any other questions for the applicant from members of the board? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to be heard either for or against this variance request? All right. There being none, the chair will now entertain a motion to either approve or deny this variance request.
Making a motion to approve variance request.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Need to give you reasons why. Yes, sir. Sorry.
I think that the variance it meets all the standards that are they're asking. Do I need to just go through these?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
So, the variance but from the terms of the Unified Development Ordinance will not be contrary to the public interest where owning to special conditions literal enforcement of the provisions as there's no one here to question, and also that there's no it's going to be blocked by the house, and so you won't be able to see it, and that's the second one, that the spirit of the Unified Development Ordinance will be observed. So I think the structure is on a big lot, which will allow more room, and this is not on a small lot. So there's no issue with that. That there are extraordinary and exceptional circumstances pertaining to this piece of property, as it is bigger, and it has more room for these things, for this building, and as the property is blocked by the house, that these conditions do not generally apply to the other properties in the vicinity. They're all the lots are the same uniform size on this part of Avent Street. He's still allowed to have this building in this yard, but this size, I don't think it would effectively prohibit or restrict the utilization of the property. And then finally, that the authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to the adjacent properties or the public good, as the other property owners have. There are no ones here, and Mr. Reynolds has also stated that the properties, that the other property owners are okay with it, and there's no one here to say they're not. So for those reasons. Anything else?
No, you're good. You're good, Ms. Edwards. If you don't mind, before we get a second, I'm going to add to your motion with regards to the first point that you made, contrary to public interest. I'd just like to add to that without the variance, the applicant would be limited to the accessory building, which is less than half of what he has proposed. The second point that you made regarding the spirit being observed, the purpose of the size limit of these buildings is to prevent constructions of structures that are nearly the size of the house. But because of the size of this house, this allows for a larger building there. Your third point regarding exceptional conditions to the particular piece of property, whereas this lot is similar to other lots in that specific NC-15, other lots in the neighborhood are a lot smaller. So his larger lot allows for a larger size building. Regarding your fourth point, the conditions do not generally apply to other properties. Again, this goes back to these lots are not uniformed in that neighborhood. They're all different sizes. Your fifth point regarding the conditions of the UDO would effectively prohibit or reasonably restrict the utilization of the property. By denying this variance request, as the applicant mentioned in his statement, he would be really prevented from using the size building that he really wanted to use in the first place. And then finally, your sixth point regarding the authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent pieces of property. As staff mentioned in their report, this building will essentially be hidden behind the garage. And he, as the applicant mentioned, does have support from the surrounding neighbors. So adding that to your motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Poston. All those in favor of granting this variance request, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries. The variance request is approved. Ms. Edwards, thank you very much for coming by. You guys are more than welcome to sit through our Thanksgiving edition of the BZA. If not, you're welcome to leave. But we thank you guys very much. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll send you the zoning permit tomorrow so you can apply for the building permit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a good evening. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
There being no other items on this evening's agenda, are there any announcements from city staff?
Just have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, and congratulations, you guys, on a 3-day week next week. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This evening's meeting is adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving.